Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast, the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. Two-way views, conservative views. Craig, guess what day it is?
Oh, it's Taco Tuesday.
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yummity yum. It's like a dream.
Yum, yum, yummity yum. It's like a dream. That
Like a
is
dream,
Taco
baby.
Tuesday. That is Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday, baby.
There you go. Did you partake of any specific types of tacos today, sir?
Nope. It's still 6 p.m. here. The food trucks are in the neighborhood till 8:30, so I'll be going up there tonight to get me some tacos.
Very nice, very nice. My daughter is on notice. Don't know what kind of tacos we're gonna have, but she knows it's going to be tacos. So
There you go.
very
It is
interested to see. She is a phenomenal cook, so I always enjoy.
very nice. Very nice.
Oh man, dude, tons of stuff in the news today. I'll just tell you just real quick. You were telling me about some stuff going on with Alberta real quick. I know we don't have it on the thing here, but you were telling me about Mr. Trudeau.
Oh, some nonsense. Trudeau got up today and tried to play bad boy, like he wasn't going to play ball and wasn't going to deal with tariffs, like they had a leg to stand on. And then the premier from Alberta stood up and said, "Hey, I'm going to the States tomorrow to make a deal." Yeah,
The incoming premier, the incoming prime
no,
minister.
the premier is the governor of Alberta. The governor of
Okay.
Alberta.
Well, there you
And
go.
their
See, there you go.
And their constitution, remember, their constitution in Canada allows any of the provinces to depart and become independent or go to another country at any time. So,
And by the way,
I'm trying to remember, Alberta is the youngest and most affluent province. The money they make pays for all the other provinces, and they're like, "We're tired of paying for everybody else, dude. See ya."
I know.
You know?
There you go. They're conservatives.
Yep.
Oh, well, now, did you also see that Zelensky is like, no, I am sorry. I am sorry I offend you. Please, take all our oil. Take all our mineral. Please, just help us. Forgive. My English not so good.
I'll sign today. Yes.
By the way, I did want to note, you were correct. So the original deal that they were talking about was like 50%. What he was being asked to sign wasn't even like a set percent. It was an investment deal where the U.S. would get not the lion's share of the investment, but a significant part of the investment. They're going to get a taste. They're going to get a taste.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a better deal, and like I said, I get him wanting the security agreement, but the way he went about it was, well, needless to say, he is regretting it because he's now, look, we're down with the U.S. We love America. I love America.
USA, go Taco Tuesday. USA,
go Taco Tuesday. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good stuff, and it's. Sometimes you hate to bully people. You hate to have to not bully them. When someone tries to bully you, you got to push back. And that's what happened. And, Democrats obviously don't like it because they just like bullying people. But, it is what it is. America wins again.
Yeah, we'll talk about some Democrat bullying here in one of the stories today as well. So
Exactly. So let's go ahead and let's move on real quick. And before we do that, we're going to get into before we get into the stories, we're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yep. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. If you got yourself an AR in the past 5 years, probably got one of their barrels and don't even know it. Well, now you can buy from the factory direct for all your AR barrel needs, rifle, pistol caliber, any length you desire at hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to Hog Holsters. That's HAWGholsters.com. Hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you got an organization, you got a group of people, you got a business, you belong to an agency, and you want tactical gear, web gear, military gear, fire, security, EMS, no matter what it is, you can get everything except the gun at uscombatgear.com.
Now, I want you guys to understand, uscombatgear.com, if you, once again, group purchasing, if you got a group, like you said, a club or whatever it is, trust me, they will hook, not only will they hook you up, not only will you get a good deal, you're going to get phenomenal customer service. I promise you. Check them out. Once again, uscombatgear.com. In fact, all of our sponsors, they're all phenomenal. You need to check out their websites. All you got to do is follow the links in the description to this program, right? The links to their websites are all there. Go there, spend some money with them, and make sure you let them know it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. Also, want to give a shout out. I'm sorry,
if you want to do individual purchases, I go to uscombatgear.com. I think they've got one or two of their stores open up now, so you can actually go there.
Yes. Also want to give a quick shout out to our friend Magnet over at Lion Arms. I want to say thank you for the, where's it? Oh, there we go. I want to say thank you for the hoodie. Got my Lion Arms hoodie on right here. So, you know, hood. I got my hoodie on in the hood.
His hoodie on the hood over there in Old Sack. There you go, baby.
Oh, yeah. All I need is some Skittles, baby. All I need is some Skittles.
Oh, man. Bad reference. Look at you being racist.
Hey, as long as I don't have my hood on with the Skittles, I'm okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Got it.
Bad news, bad juju. Anyway, I also want to encourage you, if you're watching the program live on, if you're watching us on TikTok, if you're watching us on Rumble, if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and comment. We're going to be following your comments, and if we like what you have to say, or at least if we find it to be interesting, we'll go ahead and we'll share it with the rest of our audience. So go ahead and give us a holler. And by the way, if you want to watch us live, if you're listening to a recording, like you're listening to listening to us on Spotify or on Apple Podcast, or maybe you're watching us on Facebook. We're on live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on Rumble, on YouTube, and on TikTok. Check us out. You can comment, let us know what's up. And by the way, comment anyway, even if you're not watching us live. Go ahead and comment when you get a chance, because it'll let us know, if there's maybe some stuff you think we should be copying, we should be covering or should be talking about. Please forgive me, I'm talking a little fast. I'm a wee bit caffeinated today.
Caffeine Tuesday.
Caffeine Tuesday. Yeah, it was a long night, bro. Long night. Gotta take care of the clients, man. Gotta take care of the clients. That's the thing about owning your own business. You work till the work is done.
I want to know what you're doing with the clients at late at night. I don't want to know.
It's called video editing.
Oh, okay.
Not that kind. Not bow chicka wow wow. No, not that kind of video editing. There is no green door in any of my productions.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, moving right along. Now, you might recall, because we talked about this before, the number one ad, the most successful ad that Donald Trump ran during the campaign had to do with transgender athlete, not transgender, but with Kamala Harris wanting to pay for sex changes for transgender immigrants who were in jail. Now, there was a whole bunch of stuff that was in there, but one of the things that was pointed in there, and one of the issues that prompted a discussion about, had to do with, in particular, males in female sports, or transgender, as they would say, transgender women, which are males, participating in female sports. Well, that is like a 90 or an 80-20 issue. Only 20% of all voters believe that males, biological males, even if they support the idea of transgenderism, they don't believe that they should be participating against or competing against girls in sports. Caitlyn Jenner or Bruce Jenner, same exact thing, does not believe that they should be competing because they know that they have significant physical advantage. Well, the Senate Republicans actually had a bill that they put up that would actually address that issue, and it would actually make it so that on a national level, because President Trump actually instituted an executive order basically in high school and college sports banning males from participating in female sports. Well, they wanted to codify it in law, so the Senate has a bill, or had a bill, we'll get into in just a second, where they're actually working to address that issue.
Bring in Senator Tommy Tuberville, the Alabama senator who introduced the bill. So do you have 7 Democrats out there who care enough about protecting women in sports to join with Republicans?
Well, John, I would hope so, but it's a heavy lift. This is third time I've had it on the floor. I've gotten 1 Democrat vote. That was Joe Manchin. Obviously, he's gone. But we're getting to a point now where women and girls sports are getting ready to be extinct, because already in states across this country, we have high school teams that are made up of totally boys participating against girls. So it's very serious. Hopefully we can get something done today, but President Trump's executive order is only going to last, John, 4 years. After that, it'll probably go the other way.
So here's where the American people are on this issue. According to a recent New York Times Ipsos poll, 79% of all Americans believe that transgender athletes should not be allowed in women's sports. 94% of Republicans believe that, 67% of Democrats. So the tide would seem to be in your favor.
Well, you'd think so, but when you have the Democratic Party believe that men can get pregnant, you got problems. And it's such a...
Yeah, well, evidently those numbers did not bear out in the Senate, as every single member of the Senate Democratic Caucus voted. Let's put it this way: they voted to filibuster. And basically, they voted to not end debate. They got 51 votes to close, and unfortunately, that wasn't enough because no Democrats would go with them. So, turns out that Democrats, as a party, are standing for boys or men being able to beat up on women in sports. And one has to wonder exactly what it is that they're thinking when they institute stuff like that, or when they support stuff like this. I just don't get it, Mike. Do they want to remain? They must want to remain like, the party of, not in charge, I guess. I don't know. The opposition party.
The party of losers, right? They have not taken a loss in a presidency as bad as they did this time in 40 years, Craig. 40 years. 40 years they have not taken a trouncing like Donald Trump gave Kamala. With all of their ridiculous policies. So they have the opportunity to come back. Let's grab something. Let's wrap our hands around something that majority of Americans agree that is a Democrat issue, and let's go ahead forth and do something good to get us back some respect and some power. No. Screw that, Craig. Let's go with something that even 67% of Democrats disagree with. Let's go with that. That seems like a good plan.
I was gonna correct you, Mike, because the thing is, it's not a majority of Americans. 80% of Americans, 2/3 of Democrats are like, nah, that ain't cool. That's just not cool. And Democrats are refusing to take a stand on it, or they're taking a stand. It's just on the wrong side.
If you want to follow the playbook on how to not get your senators and House reelected in the midterms, this is the second step. The first step was side with Zelensky. The second step is let's promote something that 67% of Democrats don't agree with.
Right, 67% of your own people. And by the way, just so y'all know, if you want to know why you lost the House, if you want to know why you lost the Senate, if you want to know why you lost the White House, this is why. If you want to know why you're going to lose in the midterms, it's going to be because you're taking these sorts of positions. And then once again, this is not a no-brainer. And here's the thing. Ultimately, society, right? People get to decide, what our norms of our society are going to be. The relationships between one another, and how that, what we're going to recognize and not recognize. And they thought that they could just push the transgender issue. And once again, I think you and I, we've talked about this, we'll agree. If you're talking a grown adult who decides, who's been given the right information, all the proper information, that's what they decide they want to do, you're more than welcome to go do that. But you're not going to go and force everyone else to participate, right? You're not going to. We're not going to put girls at risk. When I say girls at risk, we've talked about this in a lot of these sports that are girls are in physical harm, potentially in physical harm if they're competing against males. That's number one. And then you have, and it's kind of hard because I don't blame the transgender community for this, but you have perverts who will pretend to be, who will say they are transgender just so that they can get in a girl's bathroom. I'm sorry, or they can walk around naked in the girl's locker room. I'm sorry, but you do. You have that, right? I'm not saying they're straight or they're transgender, but I'm just saying you have those kind of perverts. And they're taking advantage of this. And we need to protect we need to protect women and girls from them.
Yeah, and listen, again, if you're an adult male and you want to transition to adult female, and you've got your reasons, that's great. As long as one of your reasons isn't so I can go compete in women's sports. That's not a valid. That's not a valid reason.
Because and by the way, once again, I'll probably another. If you transition to a woman, you're not a woman. You look like a woman. You give the outward appearance of a woman, but you still got the XY chromosome. You're. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be. I'm not trying to be rude. That's biology.
Yeah. You don't see Caitlyn Jenner participating in the senior citizen decathlon, do you?
No. And by the way, Caitlyn Jenner is all in. Is like does not believe in the idea of biological males. People in particular, if they've gone through puberty, competing as a male, competing in girls' sports and women's sports. He's completely against it. They are completely against it. Anyway,
the athlete formerly known as Bruce.
The athlete formerly known as, I like that one. The athlete formerly known as Bruce. That's a good one. But yeah, no, it's just, anyway, I just think that we really need to rethink where a Democratic Party really needs to rethink their priorities. And, there's the part of me that is like, yeah, I would like for Republicans to keep winning, but I want to win because we're right on the ideas, not because Democrats are so stupid they do stupid stuff like this. I want there to be two sane, rational parties. Even though their party is wrong, I'd rather there be two sane, rational parties.
Yeah, I mean, come up with something better. Fight tariffs. Let's go after taxes. Let's go after social. No, again, we're going to go after a incredibly ridiculous rule that 67% of your own party says no to. That's what that's the hill you're going to die on.
Exactly. And I'll give you another example, because it used to be, okay, well, we're just going to have, you're going to keep it to teenagers. Well, there was actually a meet where you had a 21-year-old transgender runner competing against high school girls. That's right, competing against high school girls. Here was the race right here. Once again, you had a 21-year-old trans runner running a race, basically won after several teenage girls were like, no, we're not competing against a male. It says here, Camden Schreiner, 21, who uses the name Sadie, came in first place in the women's 400-meter dash at the USA Track and Field Open Masters Championships with a time of 56.74, according to the Blaze. Schreiner won the race after his opponents, Anna Vidalova, 17, and Amaris Hyatt, 16, did not compete. According to the race results, Vidalova and Hyatt were listed as did not start, abbreviation or DNS. Schreiner also participated in the women's 200-meter dash. That was the race we just saw, and won first place against his competitors who were 14, 15, 16, and 18. That's the runner right there. Now, I'm sorry, Mike, but in what rational world do we allow a 21-year-old man to compete against 14-year-old girl?
No. In Democrat Socialist New York City, evidently, is where they're allowed to do it. It's in La La Land. Hey, go back to that picture, Craig, of them standing there on the podium with Shriner there with these young ladies. Yeah, he needs to do a little bit better job at tucking if he wants to be in the women's department. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't even looking there. Oh, Mike. What am I going to do with you, brah?
Go to Target or something. Get you some of that extra meat garments, you know?
Get some extra meat garments. Tuckable tracksuits.
That's it. Whew.
But I mean, think about this, man. There is going to come a time in the future where they're going to look back at this time and they're going to be like, what were they? They're going to look back in history and they're going to say, what was wrong with these people?
Mental illness. Mental illness is what it is.
I just, it's once again, this idea of convincing people that what is not. And once again, I get, if you want to live, if you want that to be your thing, then you are more than happy. Go for it. But now, once again, we're talking about competing with children, with a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old. And by the way, that means that they're in the locker room with that 14, 15, and 16-year-old. And as we already know from what's the name of the transgender swimmer? Something Thomas. Anyway, we already know that that particular individual walks around the locker room butt naked, has not done anything, grew long hair. That's it. Has done nothing to try and pretend to be or look like a female, a woman, a girl. Just went from Leah Thomas. Went from number 400 ranked in collegiate swimming to number 1, right? This particular individual, as I understand it, was ranked, well, actually, no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of a different runner, so I won't even go into those numbers. But the idea is these are people who cannot compete against males, so they decide they're going to compete against females. And even if they are legitimately trans, number 1, why is an adult competing with children? Number 1. Number 2, you know you have this physical advantage, not only because you are an adult male, but because you're an adult. And yet you still are proud of competing with and beating little girls.
Yeah, I blame Andy Kaufman, comedian, late Andy Kaufman. Remember, one of his skits was he was the intergender wrestling champion. Remember, he would wrestle women as part of one of the skits he would do. And now some idiots out there looked at that and went, "Yeah, that looks like a good idea. Let's do that."
That looks like a good idea. Let's do that. What is so sad is you are probably right. Well, you know, there's actually a movie out called Lady Ballers. It's available at the Daily Wire, but it's about a group of guys who decide that they're they basically create a women's team. They're tired of getting their butts kicked in men's sports, so they create a ladies team, and it is brutal. I will just say this. The butt kickings that these females take in these sports is
criminal.
It's hysterical. If it were real, it would be criminal. How about that?
Yeah.
But because we know it's not, and it's mocking them, it's just hysterical.
Yep.
But
By the way, I see you up at late at night, actually video editing something called Lady Ballers. That's what I figured you're doing at night.
No, I was not. Thank you very much for your input. Thank you for playing. Moving right along. We talked last week, or at the beginning of this. Anyway, we talked last week about a bill in California that would redefine self-defense. Well, interestingly, you've now got a number of California sheriffs who've actually come out against this particular bill. Basically, what the bill would do is both in self-defense outside of your home and even inside of your home. So it would basically undermine the castle doctrine. It would undermine the stand your ground and the definition of self-defense, and would make it so that you would have a duty to retreat, right? You would be obligated to try. If you would not be allowed to use deadly force unless you had been able to determine that there was no way to retreat. Anyway. This being reported by the folks over at the California Globe. More sheriffs oppose California bill making self-defense illegal. That's pretty much what it did. It would make self-defense illegal. It says their opposition to the bill that would severely limit self-defense against crime in the state grew over the weekend, with several more sheriffs and law enforcement agencies coming out against the bill. Amongst the notable new opponents against the Assemblyman Rick Zur authored Assembly Bill 1333 are Butte County Sheriff Corey Honia and Tehama County Sheriff Dave Kane. Both of the sheriffs agree that the language of the bill makes it so that homeowners cannot adequately protect their own property and that the wording is way too vague. According to the bill, AB 1333 would eliminate certain circumstances under which homicide is justifiable, including in defense of a habitation or property. The bill would additionally clarify circumstances in which homicide is not justifiable, including when a person uses more force than necessary to defend against a danger. Said I had a chance to. I want to read what the proponent said. The guy who put the bill forward said. Here it goes. So the Zur wrote on X, he said, the goal is to prevent wannabe vigilantes like Kyle Rittenhouse from provoking violence and claiming self-defense after the fact. We will amend the bill to make this crystal clear. Now, here's the problem, Mike, is that according to a jury of his peers, and by the way, just the facts of the case, he was clearly defending himself. Rittenhouse was clearly and obviously defending himself. Yes, he was out there. Yes, he was in public. No, he was in public. He was on private property, armed on private property, and was attacked. And only shot people that were attacking him as he was running away. So wait a minute. So if you shoot someone while you're fleeing, so it's not just enough to flee, you have to flee, and you're also not allowed to shoot somebody or not allowed to defend yourself while you're fleeing, evidently according to the author of this bill.
Absolutely. And let's be clear, we're talking about Rittenhouse. Would I have made that decision to be there, or would you have allowed your kids to be there? That's not the point of this. It's that he was there legally, he was defending property, then he was fleeing when the attack occurred. So,
well, and you just hit the nail on the head. And that's the thing. So, and that's the thing I said to a lot of people, like, well, no. And I'm like, well, look, not everything that is unwise is illegal. And in this particular case, was it unwise for him to be there? Yes. Was it illegal for him to be there? No. Was it legal for him to defend himself as he was being attacked by a mob of grown-ass men? Yes.
Yeah. And
they effed around and found out.
They did. Just ask Lefty.
Just ask Lefty.
Yep.
Yeah. So once again, going back to this whole thing, it's like the left or the anti-gun community, and I'm kind of redundant there, but they don't even understand the very basics of self-defense law. They don't understand, they've never, if they've ever been in a situation like this, and I've never been in a situation where I've had to defend my life. Let me clarify. When I was younger, I was in a situation where I might have had to, but that's a whole different story. But My point is that when you look at this now and you look at these situations, the things that we train for, you have to take all of these things into consideration before you even winding up in those situations. And if you do wind up, someone is in your home, you have a right to defend yourself. You have a right to defend your home. And I don't understand why he has a problem with that.
Yeah, I honestly believe, Craig, we're seeing the end of the Democratic Party, the end of the Democrat Party. I think that's what we're going to see because, fundamentally, they stand for now whatever the Republicans or the conservatives are for, or oppose. So the Democrats oppose whatever the Republicans are for, and they are for whatever the Democrats oppose, or excuse me, whatever Republicans oppose. You understand what I'm saying? They are trying to be the exact opposite of for the Democrats to come up with either leave the party or create yourself some sort of new Tea Party on your own side, or create yourself some sort of new Tea Party on your own side.
There you go. Well, that's it exactly. Is the common sense folks, and it's kind of funny because like Rahm Emanuel was on Bill Maher, and you hear him, and he was like, you listen to him, and you hear that. Look, if the people like you hear some of these Democrats saying Donald Trump is doing exactly what he said he was going to do, so stop fighting it because this is what the American people wanted. Right? It's like, you don't have to agree with it, you don't have to like it, but if the American people are like, look, this is where the direction we're going, you're never going to win elections by digging in and going the exact opposite direction. You're just not.
You're going to have to find something new. I don't know, a new Save the Porcupine campaign or something. You're going to have to find something new. Right.
Exactly. And just be real, man. What Donald Trump is doing is working. Case in point, Honda currently manufactures the Civic in Mexico. Well, guess what? They ain't going to be making it in Mexico no more because they're trying to avoid the tariffs. That's right. Report once again coming from Breitbart. Honda moving Civic production from Mexico to Indiana in response to Trump's tariffs. Reuters reporter Makai Shiraki. There we go. Shiraki cites three people familiar with the matter to state Mexico was intentionally chosen because rising costs were making it tough to produce the car in Indiana and Canada. The outlet continued that now charged since. Okay, that double now is not me. That's actually in the story. Since President Trump returned to the White House and set about protecting American jobs and workers, the change underscores how manufacturers are scrambling to adapt to U.S. President Donald Trump's proposed 25% tariffs on goods in Mexico and Canada. So this is exactly what he was looking for. Not only are countries going to respond, but companies are going to respond. They're going to produce their product where they can maximize the profit. And if they can do that by not having to pay that 25% tariff, that's what they're going to do.
Absolutely right. Listen, and this is a Japanese company. They get it. They understand how it works. Listen, it was cheaper to make the Hondas on this side of the border before because of the rules and regulations of the last administration. Now it's going to be cheaper and better for us and better for Japan, better for America, for us to have these cars here made in the U.S. So let's do it.
Right. And once again, I don't understand why this is so hard for the left to get. Now, once again, I think what you're going to wind up seeing is you're going to see some manufacturing increase in the United States. But I think you're also going to see a negotiation of some tariffs. They're going to drop some of their tariffs, and we're going to drop some of our tariffs. And you're going to see an influx of American production going into Mexico. Same thing's going to happen in Canada. You'll see more American products going into Canada. Once again, I still believe it's a negotiating ploy because when he did it before, that's exactly what happened. And we saw manufacturing in the United States, and we saw exports from the United States actually increase. But what do I know? I just look at history.
Boy, what a lesson you learned. Looking at history, sucker.
On that note, let's get to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com, use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, and get your hog holster today. There's a lot of criticism about Elon Musk out there, and I've just noticed how the left, despite the fact that he is the world's richest man, how the left has just decided that they're just going to just badmouth and just call him stupid and dumb, right? And these couple of videos here that I'm going to share with you are literally just about how the people are like, really? Is that really what you want to go with?
Second guessing Elon Musk is a fool's game. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's like, how many rockets have you sent to Mars? Well, seriously, people are so presumptuous. If he'd only done one impossible thing, you'd think you could excuse that because you're so embarrassed to not be him. And you could excuse that and say, well, it's government subsidies or it was handed to him, which is all complete bloody rubbish, because you could hand government subsidies to a fool forever, and all that'll happen is you'll get 1,600 feet of high-speed rail built in California in 20 years for $12 billion. And so that happened, right? That happened. But Musk has done like 5 impossible things. And so 5 is a lot. Like 1 is a lot, but 5, that's really a lot. And so second guessing him, it's like, why did he spend $40 billion on Twitter? It's like, because he knows things you don't. Like many things, books full of things.
Does you depend on the kindness of strangers when you're
Yes.
living on the streets?
Yes.
Can you return the favor to our fellow Democrats?
They've experimented with a couple of different ways of pushing back against Doge. They're like, I don't think Elon Musk and his boys are good at math. I'm worried about the math. Yeah, he catches rockets with chopsticks, so shut up about the math. They're like, oh, he might have your social security number. I don't know. He ran PayPal. Okay. So they really have to do the Casablanca thing where they have to be like, we're shocked that there's government overspending. Oh my goodness. That way then they get in on it. Like I declare we should start a committee of our own just to check his numbers and make sure maybe my sister-in-law could be on that committee, and that normally pays $2 million a year, but I can't get enough Doge. I want a Doge 24-hour channel. Doge it all. Pinch every penny.
Now, this last one here, I love this. I came across this article. I don't want to get into the whole article, but it was reported by the Washington Post. Swearing linked to increased pain tolerance and strength. This is over at the Washington Post. And, I'm like, yeah. And seemed kind of obvious one to me, Mike. How many times have you stubbed your toe in the middle of the night and curse, foul, flunk, fifth, foul, and
Yeah.
it distracted you from the pain.
Yes, it did. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. Nice of Columbus, that's gonna hurt. Oh,
Which by the way, is the reason why Let's Go Brandon was not nearly as rewarding as F. Joe Biden.
Oh, it was just a euphemism. I think we all knew what was meant,
We definitely knew what was meant. Anyway, good stuff. Check that story out over at if you don't want to pay for the Washington Post, tell you what I'll do here. Hold on. I will share the link with you guys, and you guys can check it out at MSN has the full article. In any case, that brings us to near the end of our program. But before we go, we got one more thing to do, and you know what that is. It's a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. You can get AR rifles and pistol and rifle calibers at any length you desire. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting that good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you want to get yourself together, a group buy, an agency buy, a bunch of people together and get you some awesome tactical gear, web gear, military, law enforcement, first responder, whatever it may be, you can get everything except the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. You can find our sponsors by simply following the links in the description to this program. Take you right to their websites. Go there, spend some money with them. Make sure you tell them it was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. And with that, this show is in the can. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program. We will be back tomorrow on Hump Day. Till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and send a few downrange.